say I run the streets, I tell them no wonder. The cheapest thing I got on this, my belt and this $400. They say I run the streets, I tell them no wonder.
Growing up, I was picked on a lot. I was a little chubby kid. I played 17 years of football. I played football since I was 5 years old. And I went to college and played football, and I ruptured my quad muscle. I tore my quad muscle off my pelvic bone. Came out of school, got into a lot of trouble. And then my boy King Mo Lawal, he turned me on to MMA.
Y'all, I know him as Mo Lawal. Y'all call him King Mo. I was sitting at home one day, and I've been a big MMA fan since '93. No gloves, no rules, no time limits. And I was just at home one day, and I told Mo, like, man, you out there in Cali wrestling, trying out for Olympics, and sent me over to Star Jiu-Jitsu. And ever since then, I tried out. Did good for wrestling and boxing, but then I went against Yusuf's brother, 145 pounds. Didn't go well for me, man. So ever since then, I just been addicted to it. I started training kickboxing under the great Saxon Janjira. Love that guy. And then I did kickboxing over there, then came over to that Octagon with Coach Safe, and he's taken me there ever since.
Basically, once I learned the art of fighting and learned how to fight and control my anger and actually throw a proper punch, and then when Saxon taught me how to kick and knee and elbow, I just fell in love with it. And then, I found out you can get paid for doing it, so I haven't looked back since.
I got two little rascals, man, Javian and Jaden. That's my world. I'm a single daddy. I get up every day. They love coming to the gym. Every move I make, they hear. I'm over here doing rounds. They right there shadow boxing, punching each other. And just to look out there and see them, and they say, hey, they want to fight. They're my inspiration, man. They're the reason why I get up. And they love to see me fight, and I love to perform for them. And Daddy won't lose in front of them, ever.
My day-to-day grind, man, is I get up every morning at 6 o'clock, wake up, brush hair, brush teeth, iron school clothes for my kids, get them ready for school, drop them off at school by 7 o'clock. I go to work, work 9 hours a day. Then I come to the gym and I train. I have to train twice as hard as everybody else because most of these guys, they don't have full-time jobs. They're full-time fighters. But being a single father, I do have to work, and then I have to come here and work extra hard just to keep up with my training partners, because everybody here is just so good. So I have to work double as hard just to keep up with them. Because at first, I didn't believe in myself. I was just doing it just to be, just to get out the streets and to get my anger out, And then, Saxon, he calls me black white boy. He says, hey, black white boy can fight. And then, once he believed in me and I started fighting, and then I moved over here to the Octagon to work on my ground game, my wrestling. And then my coach, Coach Safe, he just skipped me straight past amateurs. He's like, man, I think you're ready to fight pro. And I just turned pro. And then ever since then, I found those two coaches and then my training partners, they believed in me. So I haven't looked back since. Fighting in the streets and fighting in the cage is completely different. But just in the streets to survive, you learn to have no fear. And that pays off when you get in the cage. Of course you respect your opponent, but you're like, man, look, I can take a punch. Once you learn that you have a chin, that you can take a punch, everything else just basically relies on your cardio and your skill from that point on. So coming out the street, just get into a lot of trouble out there and a lot of fights in the street, you learn to be composed in here, and you learn that, you have no fear. Because once you fear somebody, then that's when you lose.
I don't think people don't want to step into the cage with me, man. I don't think I'm a nobody, you know what I'm saying? I'm just out here training like everybody else, man. People look at records, people see knockouts, people see TKOs, people try to cherry pick fights. I don't think people don't want to step in there with me. But where I train at and the people I train with and the level of training that we do, I think that scares people away more than myself. People say, hey, oh my God, this guy trained under Saxon Janjira. Oh my God, this guy trains with Safe at the Octagon, man. Those guys train hard. Our gym went 40-5 last year. So we have a good gym. Like I said, Saxon has a great name. He's like a world class, one of the best in the world, like 7 belts in 7 different weight classes. he's like the Mayweather of Muay Thai. So, I think when people see the gym names, they kind of shy away and don't want to get in there with us. But Derek, he's from what I've seen, he's a stand-up guy. He throws straight punches. He likes to cut the ring off. He comes forward. He never goes backwards. He likes to stand and bang. He mixes up his punches with his kicks very well. So it should be a good stand-up battle. Well, you got to stay humble, man. I mean, it's the name of the game. People get hurt, promotions fall off, fights cancel. I mean, so it happens. I mean, it happens in the UFC. It happens on the highest levels of the sport. My main thing is just keeping my mind strong, staying focused, and always being in shape, always being ready for that phone call, because that phone call can come at any point in time saying somebody's ready to fight. I match up with Derek very well. Like I said, we both like to stand up and bang. So it's going to be a good fight. It's going to basically boil down to who's going to implement whose game plan first. So, I mean, me and him, it's a good matchup. I think it's something that the fans want to see, a good stand-up war, none of that hugging stuff. Here at Jerome's gym, man, it's just, he's my strength and conditioning coach, but I also come back here and I do boxing with my boy Tony Mack and Nate and Brian. They help me out a lot as far as my stand-up goes. But Jerome Givens, I mean, he's always been there for me since day one. Some of the best and the most brutal strength and conditioning that you could possibly do. So I make it a point before every training camp to come here at least 3 to 4 weeks out of my training camp to get that brutal conditioning and cardio in. The thing is, man, you always got to be evolving in your game. Boxing, in my opinion, is one of the most important parts of MMA. In my opinion, if you have a great boxing base and a good wrestling base, you'll do well and you'll go far in MMA. But it's very important to learn how to throw a proper punch, footwork, head movement, and learn where your power, your punches come from. Honestly, man, I don't predict fights. All it takes is one punch. And from my past experiences, like I said, I've been luckily to be the person to land that one punch. But I can't predict that I'm going to go in there and do what my coaches have trained me to do. And that's fight hard, use every tool that I have in my back pocket. So I predict that I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna do everything that I've been trained to do. First of all, I just want to give a thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for always being there for me, for helping me renew my mind and find myself and be so humble. I just want to thank all my people at Octagon MMA, Saxon Janjira, Ohana Warrior, especially here at Jerome's gym. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's always been there with me since day one. Carl Graham with csportsgear.com, and their challenge suit has helped me out tremendously for my fight coming up on March 23rd. But like I said, most importantly, I just want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for renewing my mind and being there when I wanted to just give up.